आप अब लाइव हैं।
Okay, sir. Okay, good afternoon, friends, and welcome to the session of EduShastra for the CAT analysis, CAT 24 analysis for slot 1 as well as for slot 2. So, slot 2 is going to be finished in next some time, right? So, I suppose that you must have seen the slot 1 analysis which we have done in the morning, but there is some connection issue, so that was not finished properly. So now we again discuss the slot one paper so that the slot two students will get a slot three student will get a benefit from the analysis, right? Okay, so now just we are starting with this part. So the analysis which was there for the slot one, it was easier paper relatively to CAT 23, that is a past year paper, and there was some different sections, some different, I would say, the new thing, which is the one question in a LRD section based on a stock market, one question based on a game. So there are some surfers, 4-5%, the players who are surfers, and then there are some data related to them. Right, so you must be knowing that, and you can watch the old videos which were there on YouTube channel of Shastra, where we have discussed the games-based questions, the stock market, and other questions, right? Okay, just a minute. There is some information. Okay, so these all questions are there over the website in different classes of Shastra, and approximately 10 questions from the arithmetic section, and one question is from the time and distance. One asks the passage reading comprehension passage on geometrics. So geometry is also there, right, in the quantitative section. So overall, the mixed feeling for the slot one paper is the relatively easy one, right? Okay, so we are just waiting for the EduShastra team to join for the slot two analysis. So they were there at different centers, right? And they will be coming quickly and joining here. Okay. So I'm just getting us some update from them. Okay, so welcome back. And now the team of Shastra is joining very soon for the analysis of the slot two, right? And you will be getting the real update of the CAT 24 from the team, from the expert of Shastra. So Vipul
हाँ
sir
जी
joined just now. So good afternoon, Vipul sir.
हाँ जी,
And
गुड आफ्टरनून अंकुर जी।
Vipul sir has attempted the CAT 24 paper in a slot one today morning, right? So now we are having his feeling and his perception about the slot one paper. Okay, so yes, over to you, Vipul sir.
See, the slot one, in totality, if we look at the difficulty level has gone down. Okay,
Okay,
let's say if we are
okay,
talking about CAT 2023, if the difficulty level is 10, right now the level was 8.
okay,
But it actually, uh, there are two kind of people when we talk about the verbal section. The test starts from the verbal section, and there are two kinds of people in the verbal when we look at. The one people are looking at in one people are the people who are just looking at the section. अंकुर जी आप भी लाइव हैं?
yes, sir. I'm there. Just like
या नहीं,
I'm.
हमने हाँ गैलरी व्यू दिया हुआ है, आप रहिए, मतलब
Okay,
उसमें
okay,
गैलरी
okay,
व्यू है ना?
okay.
हाँ जी, इज इट 13K? ये भी चेक करिए, 14K.
Yes, yes, yes.
There are 14,000 people looking.
Right,
अच्छा,
right, right.
yeah. So अंकुर जी, what is I was saying was,
Hmm.
uh, some of the people in the verbal when we look at go into technical jargons, technical language they look at
Okay,
as a verbal.
okay, okay.
So in that sense, what exactly happens? They are always looking at, I would say, a kind of a shortcuts. Like if they're looking at para jumbles, if you're looking at para completion, if you even they look at the RC, they are
Okay.
looking at some kind of a strategy they would like to look at.
Mm-hmm,
Now,
mm-hmm.
what exactly happens is when the test moves toward an IQ level kind of a testing,
Okay,
the technicalities of the test actually changes into more kind of an IQ based testing. Now,
okay,
what is
okay.
exactly IQ based testing? IQ
Mm-hmm.
based testing basically will look into your understanding part of the test. Now,
Okay.
what is the when we started the test, the first hit is a fill up. You
Mm-hmm,
many people will call different names to it. Some
mm-hmm,
people say para completion, the oldies,
mm-hmm,
and the new people usually call it as fill ups. Now,
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm,
first question was that hit. Now, that was a renaissance kind of a question,
mm-hmm.
and there were one sentence written at the starting, and we were in a passage. There were four positions we can fill using
Mm-hmm.
that sentence. वो sentence को हम चार position में लगा सकते थे, और
Okay.
हम वहां पे हमने वो फिलअप या पैरा कंप्लीशन करना
Mm-hmm,
था. So first was a not a very easy level question it was there. So it was a
mm-hmm,
more of a kind of a shock जो starting में लगता है. तो आप जब फिलअप्स आपने पूरा किया, the second
mm-hmm.
question was RC. Now, and the RC started with the economist, some economist they referred by the name Seamer or something, and
Okay,
they were referring the economist as what kind of a life they run and all.
okay.
अच्छा अंकुर जी, is it 17K people watching? What is it like? आप एक
I
अपना
just
सिस्टम चेक
checked.
करें.
Uh, yes, yes, somewhere around. Yes, yes,
17,000 people.
yes, 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 yes.
ओके, लेकिन ज्यादातर हमारे 10,000 से ऊपर होते ही नहीं, लेकिन ठीक
No,
है,
no.
इट्स गुड.
This is good for the Edu Shastra because Edu Shastra is
Hmm.
having a real analysis and the updated
Yes,
analysis.
yes.
Yeah.
So what exactly happened is when you look at the first question, economist, someone, it's so the total passage was a medium
Mm-hmm.
difficulty level question passage, but it was talking. The first question when I looked at was talking about the inference part.
Okay.
What do you infer from the passage? Now, inferring part actually is not a very easy to deal with. It's a more of a critical reasoning kind of a question.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things which I would like every CAT aspirant to look at the slot 2 or slot 3 people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't judge a passage just on the basis of the what the passage writing or the subject is.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the passage. Try to look at the questions what they are having. Economist passage was the easy passage, but
Mm-hmm.
then also I had, when I looked at the question, I actually superseded. I moved across it with saying that let me look at the other
Okay. Okay.
things.
Okay.
The
Okay.
second RC was talking about craftsmen, craft and
Mm-hmm.
artisans and all. So this is not the topic which the top the easy understanding was easy. अच्छी तरह समझ आ रहा था.
Okay.
लेकिन जब उस पैसेज को मतलब पैसेज is not a very interesting passage to me.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Okay.
third passage we looked at was the that a marsupial in Australia. अब
Okay.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज वाइल्ड लाइफ का एक पेक्युलिटी है कि वो आइलैंड है,
Mm.
तो उसकी वाइल्ड लाइफ थोड़ा अलग है दुनिया से, क्योंकि
Yes,
वो
yes, yes, yes.
प्रोटेक्टिव रह पाई. But what
Right.
exactly in the passage was written was that the British colonist has
Mm-hmm.
moved to Australia, and because of that, they introduced some animals there,
Okay.
like rabbit or many
Mm-hmm.
other animals. And now the
Mm-hmm.
rabbit and the other animals like cattle and all, because of that,
Mm-hmm.
what exactly happened was
Mm-hmm.
that that because of that thing, that one of the marsupial by the name, I don't recall the name, one of the marsupial by the name, some kind of a rat,
Mm-hmm.
beagle or beetle, something, some name was there,
Okay.
is struggling because of that. And because of that, Australians, the rabbit actually is a invasive species for that. So as a
Mm-hmm.
passage, so that was
Okay.
interesting, easy to understand. And
Okay.
the questions was all related to the summarization part. So out of the four RCs, two
Okay.
RCs are very easy to understand, easy to relate with. But two
Mm-hmm.
RCs like economy or craft and artisans, you can always decide whether you want to go for it or
Mm-hmm.
not. The fourth passage was talking about HBO, Netflix, and everything. Now
Mm-hmm.
in HBO, Netflix, it was totally dealing with the thing which we deal with. Like
Okay.
the Netflix decide what we will see. किसी को भी हटा देता है, किसी का भी revamping
Mm-hmm.
कर देता है and all. So it was
Mm-hmm.
talking about that how Netflix is deciding what we watch. That
Okay.
was also a very easy passage to handle,
Mm-hmm.
and that passage actually was helping a lot in understanding. See, it happens in the real life, so I was able
Okay.
to relate same kind of summary questions and all specific questions related to the passage, and so that passage was also very easily doable. So two
Okay.
RC is very easily doable in
Mm-hmm.
comparison to CAT
So 2 hours
2023.
means approximately 8 questions, right?
Correct, correct.
Right.
So
Okay.
we have 16 questions from the, see, basically the format was 16
Mm-hmm.
plus 3 plus
Mm.
3 plus 2.
Okay.
That is, it was the 3 was the fill-ups or para completion, you call it. I
Mm-hmm.
call it fill-up kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
The next 3 was a summarization question, and the 2
Okay.
theta questions was the more than the odd one out questions.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
Nice.
basically, when we look at the total CAT 2023 and 24, CAT 2024 is much more easier, maybe one notch easier, and
Mm-hmm.
much more IQ based kind of an exam. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it was, if you're looking at the whole verbal preparation as a more of an understanding part or an IQ based kind of a
Mm-hmm.
testing, then it would be
Mm-hmm.
easier for you to handle.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you will, if you're struggling with the summarization of the passages and all, आप
Mm-hmm.
उसमें struggle करेंगे, उसमें भी
Okay.
आप, you will have a lot of struggle with that.
Okay.
Now, coming to the summarization part question, it was summarization is just like an RC, you have a
Mm-hmm.
passage and there was summarization. Thoda the difficulty level from the RCs was higher in the summarization questions. The next was the fill up and the completion question.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty level much, I would say, just like the RC, but so
Okay.
thoda sa lower than the summarization question. And the odd one out, the two questions, the theta questions are very easy. So if anyone is trying, the theta questions would be the easiest movement in the verbal thing in the starting only. So you can
Okay.
move into it. Two RCs are very doable. So basically, from the CAT 2023 right now, in totality, I think the total marks will rise. It will rise
Mm-hmm.
to somewhat around maybe 2 to 3 marks. It will rise actually. In
So
what
now the
people are
number has
suggesting
gone up
23.
to 16,000.
Very good. That's
Yeah.
good.
So,
Acha, even the Pawan would be joining for the CAT 2023 slot 2, isn't it? He
okay,
would be
okay.
joining for that. पर आपने
No,
slot 3 के लिए भी जाना है?
yes, 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 yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just like when the Pawan joins, आप leave कर जाइए.
Okay,
आप
sure,
move to the
sure.
center. Okay. And now moving to the DLR part. DLR
Mm-hmm.
part में there were 5 sets. 5 plus 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4.
Okay.
Now, for first question was a total more of a DI kind of a question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to use the DI and LR. I'll try to use the more jargon which is easier for everyone to understand.
Okay,
It was
okay.
talking about a graph, a kind of a candle kind of a graph, in
Yeah.
which they were talking about 6 shares,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 were bullish kind of a shares, 3 was bearish shares, and that shares question. The first question, as I recall, was a share price variability part. Share price variability, they simple give the
So
formula.
nowadays the candle graph are very common and most of the
Easy
students are following
और
the
easy
stock
भी है.
market. Yes,
नहीं
yes,
easy भी
easy
तो
भी
है.
है उसको
सबसे
अंडरस्टैंड करना भी
ग्राफ
इजी है।
में ग्राफ में
यस,
उससे इजी क्या चीज है?
राइट
सबसे इजी
राइट।
वही पार्ट।
और हमारे तो बहुत
अच्छा।
सारे स्टूडेंट इस
हम्म,
तरह के हैं जो स्टॉक मार्केट को शेयर फॉलो करते हैं, एंड
हम्म,
मल्टीपल टाइम वी हैव डिस्कस द स्टॉक मार्केट, म्यूचुअल फंड एटसेट्रा। उनका जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो सारी चीजें हमने कई बार क्लासेस में डिस्कस भी किए हैं।
वेरी
तो
वेरी
वो एडिशास्त्र के बच्चों के लिए काफी इजी रहा है उसको
गुड।
समझना और उसको अटेम्प्ट करना।
करेक्ट।
राइट।
अच्छा अंकुर जी, ये पवन इज एक्चुअली मैसेजिंग में, तो आप 2 मिनट्स कैरी करिए, मैं एक बार
श्योर
एक
श्योर
एक मिनट मुझे तो
श्योर
बात
श्योर।
करने दीजिए। टू
यस
मिनट्स
यस।
कैरी।
ओके, डन। So basically, as like you must have seen and you must have checked the actual feeling and actual perception, the actual analysis of Vipul sir, the director of Parashar. So basically, he himself attempted, and I am going to attempt the CAT paper in the slot 3, right? So Mr. Pawan is there who has attempted CAT paper in a slot 2. So he is just joining in the next 5 minutes. So overall, the perception is if I read the last year CAT paper CAT 23 on a basis of 10 scale, that is up to 10. So this year CAT paper is on a scale somewhere like 7.5 or 8. Right. So relatively the CAT 24 first slot is easy. And now we are eagerly waiting for the slot 2 analysis. Right. So Mr. Pawan will be there very soon with us, and he is joining, and he will share his his actual perception, his actual feeling, and actual experience with us. So yes, so overall question paper is easy. So as Vipul sir has said, there is a one passage of RC based on economics, one passage of RC based on some natural thing from Australia, right? So different species are there. And in LRDA section, if I talk about, so one passage based on games and tournament, there are some players, right? And the one passage is based on stock market. So yes, people sir is back. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So when I talk about the DLR set, the first set, as I have told you, it's a pure DI you may call it. बट मैं उसे
Okay.
बोलूंगा, आप समझिए वो मैथ्स का सिंपल क्वेश्चन है। रादर
Okay.
उसने आपको सोचने का भी मौका नहीं दिया। उसने क्वेश्चन पूछा और साथ में उसने बोला कि शेयर प्राइस वेरिएबिलिटी क्या है, लेकिन
Hmm.
उसने उसके साथ फार्मूला भी दिया आपको। उसने कहा हाईएस्ट प्राइस माइनस लोएस्ट प्राइस डिवाइडेड बाय द एवरेज प्राइस ऑफ दैट शेयर।
Okay.
तो
Okay.
करना क्या है? सिंपल एक कैलकुलेशन करना है। आपको कैंडल ग्राफ में दिख रहा है और
Hmm. Hmm.
मैक्सिमम क्या
Hmm.
है, मिनिमम क्या है, और सीधे
Hmm.
उसका डिविजन करना है और आंसर आ गया। सेकंड क्वेश्चन क्या
Right.
है कि डेली डेली लॉस क्या है या गेन क्या
Hmm.
है। अब ये भी
Hmm.
बहुत इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड है। उसमें भी उसने
Yes.
सिंपल
Yes.
फार्मूला दिया है, हाई माइनस लो डिवाइडेड बाय द डे एवरेज। तो उसने
Okay.
हर क्वेश्चन जो डीआई, मतलब बेसिकली मुझे तो ऐसे लगा जैसे जैसे बहुत बेसिक वेदर कैट लेवल का ही वो क्वेश्चन नहीं लगा।
Hmm.
द
Hmm.
सेकंड क्वेश्चन was talking about two students and they are going for the election. Now I'm talking about
Okay.
the second set of the DIL. तो इसमें दो वो एक कैंपेन चला रहे हैं, दो तरह का कैंपेन
So
है।
the viewers now, sir, approximately 28,000 with Adi Shastra. So this is a like we are having a say good connect with the student because of the say the service that Adi
नहीं,
Shastra
ऐसा
is
भी हो सकता
providing.
है कि हमने हमने जल्दी चलाया ना।
No,
ऐसा
हमने
भी हो
जल्दी
सकता
भी चलाया, but yes, this is because of the service that Shastra is giving to
है। हाँ जी, हाँ जी,
its
ऑब्वियसली
students,
यस।
and the syllabus, the online portal, the 24 hours of commitment the Shastra team is giving to the student. So this is the basically I would say the word of mouth because say those who have participated this year, they must have spread out the good thing about the Shastra. So this is because the
ओके।
number is raising to approximately
इसका
28,000.
चैट विंडो बंद है, मेरे ख्याल से
यस
चैट
यस।
विंडो मुझे दिखता नहीं है। आपको
चैट
दिख रहा
विंडो
है?
बंद है वो आपके आई
ठीक
थिंक।
है चलिए। वो एक्चुअली पिछले जो एक लाइव में ना काफी वो चैट में देयर आर मेनी पीपल हु एंटर एंड कीप ऑन राइटिंग बीजेपी
ओके।
जिंदाबाद। कल इलेक्शंस हुए ना,
हाँ, यस 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 यस।
तो दे स्टार्ट पॉलिटिकल कमेंट्रीज,
ओके
यू
ओके
नो।
ओके
फिर
ओके।
वो मतलब वो ठीक है। अच्छा ना, द सेकंड डीएलआर सेट वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट टू पीपल जो एक इलेक्शन लड़ रहे हैं, और उस
हम्म।
इलेक्शन के लड़ने में वो बेसिकली दो तरह कैंपेन चला रहे हैं। एक तो वो
हम्म।
इशू बेस्ड कैंपेन चला रहे हैं, एक वो एक दूसरे के ऊपर जो लालछन लगाते हैं वो कैंपेन
ओके
चला रहे हैं। तो
ओके।
उन्होंने कंडीशंस ये था कि अगर वो इशू बेस्ड चलाते हैं तो इतने लोग फॉलो कर रहे हैं, अगर
हम्म
वो ऐसे चला रहे हैं तो इतने लोग फॉलो कर रहे हैं। फिर
हम्म।
कंडीशंस थी, अगर
ओके
डिफरेंट डिफरेंट कैंपेन्स को कंडीशंस बताए होते, 4-5 कंडीशंस, और कंडीशन जब लगाते थे तो इजीली
हम्म।
वो आंसर होता था। अगर ये कैंपेन चलेगा, अगर टू लेडीज मतलब नेम वो देयर, सो
ओके।
वन वन इज रनिंग कैंपेन और दिस थिंग, और वो इश्यू पे चलाएगा तो
ओके।
कितने परसेंट लोग वोट करेंगे। ये भी एक इजी, कोई भी अगर नॉर्मल एलआर जानता होगा तो वो भी आराम से
राइट राइट
कर
राइट।
सकते हैं। इसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट था डीएलआर का, जो मैंने नहीं किया है, इसमें 5 या 6 सर्फर्स थे और जिन्होंने 4 या 5 ब्लॉगर्स को 30 पॉइंट देने थे, 30 स्टार देने थे।
ओके।
तो उन्होंने ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द ब्लॉगिंग ब्लॉगर्स एंड
हम्म
ऑल, जैसे सर्फर्स देते हैं उस तरह का
हम्म।
था। उसमें डिफरेंट कंडीशंस वर देयर एंड आई फाउंड इट द
ओके।
कंडीशंस वर डिफिकल्ट टू हैंडल, so I didn't move into it, didn't know, doesn't know much about it, but yes,
ओके।
it was dealing with
तो
something of surfer bloggers को 30 स्टार्स दे रहे हैं, उसने इसको स्टार दिया, उसने उसको दिया, एंड डिफरेंट कंडीशंस हो गया।
ओके ओके ओके।
आप कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं?
So basically, this is based on the games and tournament, and we
करेक्ट।
have a special
नहीं नहीं,
session
देखिए
for
मैं
this.
मैं जब एलआर पढ़ाता हूँ, मैं उसे एक से मतलब वो एक टॉपिक नहीं देता। आई ट्राई टू मेक इट, जिसे कहे ना कि अ, जैसे एक शादी हो रही है,
Right.
शादी में अगर चाचा जी ताया ताया जी को लाइक नहीं करते हैं या मामा
Hmm.
जी को लाइक, अब कैसे
Hmm.
सीटिंग करेंगे? आई आई ट्राई टू टेक इट इन मोर नॉर्मल जो
Right.
जिंदगी में होता है।
Yes,
तो वी
yes,
कीप
yes.
ऑन डूइंग एलआर ऑन एवरी डे काइंड ऑफ अ बेसिस।
Right, right, right.
नाउ हाँ, आप प्लीज कंप्लीट करिए जो कह रहे थे।
So I was saying that we have different special sessions based on the games and tournament,
हम्म
and this set was basically based on a round robin concept of the games and tournament.
हम्म
So and we have a say knockout concept and a round robin two concepts are there. So this set, which was there in the slot one of the CAT 24, this is based on a round robin concept of the tournament, right?
करेक्ट।
Because round robin is nothing but based on cricket, football, all these matches are based on round robin. तो अभी हमारा वर्ल्ड कप भी था, उसके बाद इंडिया की डिफरेंट सीरीज भी चल रही हैं, फुटबॉल के भी मैचेस हैं, हॉकी मैचेस भी चल रहे हैं। तो अभी ना राउंड रॉबिन बहुत हमारे आसपास हो रहा है, इस तरह के कॉन्सेप्ट हो रहे हैं। तो दिस इज द रीजन कि वो उन्होंने यही वाला कॉन्सेप्ट पिक किया और इसमें एक सेट डाल दिया।
अच्छा, the next question in DLR was it was a game. They named it quite
ओके
the name of the game.
ओके।
So there were 6 teams, one, two, three,
हम्म
four, five, 6 teams,
हम्म
and they were divided into two groups, like two groups were there, and there were
हम्म।
1 to 8 rounds. मतलब वो rounds निकालना था, लेकिन it
ओके।
was coming to 1 to 8 rounds after putting all the conditions and everything. तो उसमें 6 teams are playing different teams at a different round. हर राउंड में डिफरेंट डिफरेंट टीम्स कर रही हैं। अगर
हम्म
टीम एक ही ग्रुप में है तो वो एक
हम्म।
दूसरे से एक ही बार खेल सकते हैं,
ओके
लेकिन अगर वो ऑपोजिट ग्रुप्स में है तो वो 2 बार मैच खेलेंगे।
ओके
तो
ओके।
ये कंडीशन था। उसके बाद डिफरेंट कंडीशंस, राउंड 1 में ये हुआ, राउंड 5 में ये हुआ,
हम्म
राउंड 6
हम्म।
में ये हुआ, राउंड 8 तक मेंशन था। तो
ओके
पहला ही क्वेश्चन इसमें ऐसा था कि हाउ मेनी राउंड्स वर देयर, मतलब वो
ओके
ऐसा ही पहला ही क्वेश्चन था। तो इट वाज
ओके।
इजी टू हिट, बस सिंपल,
यस।
आप उसे रीजनिंग भी करेंगे तो आ जाएगा। The next question, the last question, the DLR was talking about 3 friends. There was a
हम्म
name by the name, I don't recall the name exactly. 3 friends were there. They were moving into Asia, Europe, and the rest of the world. They would travel कर।
ओके।
तो अब वो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट कंडीशंस की, अगर फर्स्ट पर्सन इज मूविंग टू एशिया देन द अदर पर्सन इज गोइंग टू यूरोप, तो और बाकी रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड जो ROW से लिखा था,
हम्म
इज बेसिकली कभी चाइना जा रहा है, या जापान जा रहा है, या
हम्म
इंडिया जा रहा है।
हम्म।
वो सिंपल कंडीशंस, मतलब कंडीशंस आप पुट करिए, वो सीधा
ओके।
आपको सारी चीजें क्लियर दिखती हैं। तो DLR अगर देखते हैं लास्ट ईयर से,
हम्म
2023 से 2-3 नॉचेस नीचे है।
हम्म।
एक क्वेश्चन आई फाउंड टू बी difficult, but maybe many of the other people may not find it difficult.
ओके
I found the surfers and the blogger and the 30 stars वाला क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा challenging for me.
ओके
तो
ओके।
but then also as a teacher my role is not to, मेरा मार्क्स का इतना रोल नहीं होता जितना
हम्म।
everything। तो I tried all the 4 sets from
यस
total 5।
यस एग्जैक्टली एग्जैक्टली।
तो मेरा तो होता है फील, क्वेश्चन को फील करना, तो I was
राइट
able
राइट।
to get the feel of it. Now coming to the quant part, ये
हम्म।
पवन ने अभी ज्वाइन नहीं किया, ये स्लॉट 2 से हो
हाँ,
चुका है वैसे।
अभी बस
मैं
ज्वाइन
इसे
करने ही वाले होंगे।
अभी से फोन करें, क्या करें?
हाँ, एक बार ट्राई कर लेते हैं फोन करके।
तो आप 2 मिनट कैरी करिए, 1 मिनट अपनी बात रखिए जब तक मैं एक बार पवन को कॉल करके देखूँ।
Okay, done,
ठीक है,
sure.
जस्ट गिव मी 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, so I suppose that you must have got us a good understanding of the slot one paper, right? And slot one paper was relatively easy comparable to the last year CAT paper, and Vipul sir has attempted himself. And I'm going in the third slot, right? So I'm just waiting to the Pawan, Mr. Pawan, to join so that they can continue and I can leave for the third slot, right? And now. Uh, as he has discussed that verbal is easy and DILR is easy. There is a one set which is little difficult, but yes, the other sets are more or less doable and you can score a good percentage. So this year we are assuming that there will be a little higher cutoff, right? There will be a little higher cutoff because of the say the paper is relatively easy and the concepts are there which were discussed previously multiple times in the classes, right? So students are much familiar, वो बहुत अच्छे से familiar हैं इन सभी concepts के लिए, right? So this is the reason we feel that the cutoff may be like little bit higher for this year, right? So the Mr. Pawan and Mr. Vipul is joining very soon, and you will get to see the more experienced analysis of from them, right? So yes, just to wait for some time, and they will be here quickly. But yes, overall the slot one paper is easy comparable to the last year paper, right? And we are having a this understanding, right? So, uh, okay, so there is a one question from the time speed distance. There is a one he said based on the natural thing of Australia, right? There is a one RC passage which is based on zonotrics, right? So there are some new concepts which are there, but yes, so it is every time it's suggested that please read a lot, right? Read different articles, read different magazines, books, and keep yourself updated with the surrounding because there is a one set in the DILR section based on a stock market, right? Shares are going up, shares are going down. So if you have a good understanding about the share market, then only you will be able to understand the things, right? So this is the reason we always suggest that please read. Yes, yes. So Vipul
पवन
sir
का
is
भी फोन लग नहीं रहा है, तो मैं फिर
okay.
मैथ पूरा करता
Yes,
हूँ,
yes,
एंड लेट्स सी इफ जॉइंस और नॉट, बिकॉज
yeah.
अभी स्लॉट 2 पूरा ही हुआ है ना, 10 मिनट्स
हाँ,
हो गया, 15
yes, yes, yes.
मिनट्स। अच्छा, नाउ कमिंग टू द क्वांट। क्वांट 2023 से काफी इजी है, अरिथमेटिक
Hmm.
बहुत इजी, लेकिन हाँ
Okay,
फिर भी अलजेब्रा एक चैलेंज दे रहा है। मैं आपको
okay.
एक एक क्वेश्चन तैयारी कर रहा हूँ। देयर वर 22 क्वेश्चन, सो इन टोटलिटी वी हैव वर्बल व्हिच इज 24,
Hmm.
DLR 22,
Hmm.
verbal verbal 24, DLR 22, and quant was 22. So in totality, what exactly happened? The first question was, if you are talking about in the quant, was the average question, simple average question. तो उसमें कोई बहुत बड़ा कोई गेम नहीं था. It was a medium difficulty level question. The second question talking about the geometry part. The geometry में ऐसा क्वेश्चन था कि एक ट्रायंगल है, ट्रायंगल के बीच में एक डायगोनल खींच रहा है, और मतलब मैं आपको ड्रॉ करके दिखा सकता हूँ, लेकिन एक जस्ट it was more like the question was, there is a rectangle with this was given, this was also given, and this point was given. So this triangle, as much as I recall correctly, उसके sphere ऐसा कुछ बन रहा. I don't exactly recall the question, but was the easy one. So
Okay, okay, okay,
this was
okay,
the second. So first was the average, second was the
okay.
geometry. The third question was the interest question. बैंक में आपने पैसे डाले, तो उसका ये इंटरेस्ट है, तो 4 साल बाद 5 साल बाद क्या इंटरेस्ट होता है, वो क्वेश्चन, कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन नहीं है जो आपको बहुत सोचना पड़ता है. नॉर्मल मेरे ख्याल से 10th के लेवल का बच्चा या 9th के लेवल का बच्चा आराम से कर लेगा. उसके बाद एक क्वेश्चन जो फिर पवन ज्वाइन कर रहा है, देखिए.
नहीं, अभी तो नहीं
हाँ,
है पवन।
so the next question was about the fourth question was there was a four-digit number, and the summation was given the four-digit number, and every number is a discrete or a distinct one, and it was talking about the summation, and the summation they were given as x plus n. So उसमें based up question था, more of a arithmetic based question, which was very easy to handle. So this was a thing. Fifth question was a percentage question. It was talking about three people, and they were talking about three people incomes, and incomes were given in a type of a kind of a ratio or a proportion, as we call it, and even the rent they are paying. So they were telling about the incomes and the expenses and the income part, and they were talking about that how what people save, who's the person who saved the least, and blah blah blah. So this was a fifth question. So the sixth question was talking about the distance and time. So everyone's favorite question, distance and time, जो आप seventh class से पढ़ रहे हैं, I think maybe fifth class से पढ़ रहे हैं. So it's a distance and time question. इतने में गया, वो गया, दोनों बीच में मिले. So it was a very easy thing question. Seventh was a थोड़ा सा challenging question. It was talking about an algebra question, which was talking about more of an equation. What I recall was, which I didn't do actually. जितना मुझे recall आ रहा है, मैं आपको एक share करके दिखाता हूँ वो question को. ये मैंने क्वेश्चन किया नहीं है, तो फिर भी मैं आपको थोड़ा सा उसका जितना मुझे मेमोरी में पता है. 1/8, जस्ट 1/8k into 1/3276. This can be, you can get the 8 figures here even. 1/3 is equal to 1/8 into 1/32768 something x power. So this was to be find out. I don't recall exactly, but something like this was the question. The people who are good in it can go for it. I didn't go for it. The next question was a logarithm question, simple log question. Log इतना है, log 100 था, और easy equation बनाया हुआ था, and it was easy to handle it. Next question was I think everyone's favorite question, which was talking about remainder question. Let me share what exactly the question was. जितना मुझे याद आ रहा है, अगर 10 की पावर में 100 है divided by 7, इसका रिमाइंडर क्या है? The choices which were there was 3, 5, 7, 10. Must be like that. So I don't exactly recall the thing, but this was the next question, which was remainder question. Everyone can do it. आप उस सीरीज में देखेंगे 1 पावर्स में, तो आपको एक रिदम देखने को मिल जाएगा. The 10th, the next question out of that was one of the algebra question. It was a common root, दो equations दिया था, which I didn't do, but then also I will tell you. इसका कॉमन नेगेटिव रूट ढूंढ रहा था, एक नेगेटिव कॉमन रूट था दो इक्वेशंस के, एंड दैट वाज टू फाइंड आउट. आई फाउंड आउट दैट दिस वाज थोड़ा सा टाइम कंज्यूमिंग है, निकल जाएगा आंसर, लेकिन इट वुड बी थोड़ा सा टाइम कंज्यूमिंग, सो आई डिडंट मूव इनटू इट. लेट मी सी व्हेन पवन जॉइंस. अभी ज्वाइन नहीं किया.
यस सर, अभी ज्वाइन नहीं किया पवन ने।
ओके, ओके, अच्छा. हाँ, अलजेब्रा तो कॉमन दो इक्वेशंस में एक कॉमन रूट उन्होंने बात किया था, तो मैंने नहीं किया, तो थोड़ा सा इतना मुझे रिकॉल नहीं कर पा रहा. The next 11th question was talking about the profit and loss question. Simple profit and loss question. इतने में खरीदा, इतने में बेचा. अगर मैं ठीक से याद कर रहा हूँ, मैं आपको वो क्वेश्चन रिकॉल करके बताऊँ. जस्ट क्वेश्चन वो समथिंग लाइक, अगर एक चीज का हम सेलिंग प्राइस प्रॉफिट्स इज 40%. ओके, If I reduce the CP by 25%, my profit reduces by 5 numbers, something like that, and the value 5. I don't exactly recall, but the easy part. पूरा मुझे क्वेश्चन बिल्कुल याद नहीं है, लेकिन समथिंग लाइक दैट. अगर एक चीज 100 रुपए की हम 140 में बेच रहे हैं, अगर हम वही चीज का सीपी 100 से 60 कर दें, मतलब 40 उसका परसेंट इंक्रीज डिक्रीज कर दें, तो उसका प्रॉफिट विल गो डाउन बाय 5%, or value of 5. So what is the options? What is x? So it was easy. जो profit loss हम normal करते हैं. The 12th question was talking about sphere and the rectangular box. Rectangular box है, sphere inscribed है, और उसका area volume question था. मतलब basically surface area of the rectangle was given and they asked about the volume of the sphere. तो inscribed था, तो volume of the sphere. ये भी easy mensuration question है. मुझे नहीं लगता है कि कोई भी पर्सन उसमें स्ट्रगल करता है, तो मुझे आई डोंट फील कि उसमें कोई भी स्ट्रगल करेगा. तो मैथ्स अभी तक हम 12th क्वेश्चन में आ गए, तो कितना इजी हमें फील हो रहा है आप देख पा रहे हैं. द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वाज द अरिथमेटिक क्वेश्चन व्हिच वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट a number, a series which talks from a1 to an, where an is less than the root an value, something like that. So simple equations बन रहा था, and they wanted the summation of a1 plus a2 plus a3 moving to an, a50 I think. बट मैंने नहीं किया, तो आई डोंट रिकॉल द टोटल क्वेश्चन, मुझे भी रिकॉल नहीं, लेकिन फिर भी आपको एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग आ जाएगा कि क्या होने वाला है अभी स्लॉट्स में. आपके जो आपके स्लॉट्स होने वाले हैं उसमें क्या होने वाला है. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट. कौन जी? अंकुर जी वर देयर? हेलो.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm here just
अच्छा,
listening and think just preparing for the third slot, right?
या
So,
आप एक काम करिए, आप लीव कर जाइए.
right.
मैं
Okay, done.
जब तक पवन ज्वाइन करता देख लेंगे, नहीं तो शाम को डाल देंगे. हाउ डू इट मैटर?
ठीक है,
बेसिकली
ठीक.
स्लॉट्स तो सारे एक ही तरह के होते हैं.
हाँ.
मोटा मोटा मतलब पीपल विल गेट द अंडरस्टैंडिंग फ्रॉम हियर ओनली. आप प्लीज स्लॉट अपने स्लॉट के लिए चले जाइए.
Okay,
आई विल
done.
हैंडल इट. हाँ,
Okay,
मैं
sure.
कर लूंगा इस class का. हाँ जी.
Okay.
So you can leave. Pawan when joins, I will handle. Yeah. So the 14th question was a simple AP question, arithmetic progression question. It was there's some values given and AP was asked. I don't exactly recall it. So some equations and there was an AP, simple AP question. So take it in that way. Then we have one question which I recall is one of the person is selling fruit वाला है, तो वो फ्रूट्स बेच रहा है, एप्पल्स, मैंगोस एंड ऑल. तो सिंपल एक रेशियो क्वेश्चन था कि अगर उसके प्रॉफिट्स 5:3 हैं, अगर ऑरेंजेस वो लॉसेस में बेचता है तो उसके 3:2:3, समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो इट वाज ए सिंपल इक्वेशन बिल्डिंग हो रहा था, वो सिंपल क्वेश्चन था. कोई बहुत बड़ा सिंपल रेशियोज के अगर अंडरस्टैंडिंग है और इक्वेशंस आप बना सकते हैं, तो आप आराम से वो क्वेश्चन कर पाएंगे. वन मोर क्वेश्चन आई रिकॉल वाज अ ग्रेन क्वेश्चन. So one of the shopkeeper is selling grain. Okay. So उसने डिफरेंट डिफरेंट बायर्स को बेच रहा है. उसने फर्स्ट बायर को जब बेचा, तो जस्ट अ मिनट, आई थिंक पवन इज जॉइन. ओके. ओके. So actually Pawan, one of the teacher has done the CAT 20 अभी slot 2. So I was thinking that he may join and then we can even have a better, more discussion about slot 2. Now he's selling grains. So one of the shopkeeper is selling grains. And in that process the first buyer को कोई पार्ट सेल करता है. हाफ ऑफ द ग्रेन्स ही इज सेलिंग टू वन बायर विद दिस फर्स्ट मार्जिन, सेकंड बायर थर्ड मार्जिन, एंड थर्ड बायर को जब वो हाफ दे रहा है, तो उसके बाद उसके सारे ग्रेन्स खत्म हो जाते हैं. तो ग्रेन्स के कितना वैल्यू था या कितने टोटल नंबर्स था, समथिंग लाइक दैट क्वेश्चन वाज देयर. इज इट इजी अरिथमेटिक क्वेश्चन था, कोई डिफिकल्ट नहीं होगा किसी नॉर्मल अगर आपको मैथ्स आता है. The next question was the inequality question. थोड़ा सा I know inequality people may find it difficult. Inequality थोड़ा medium difficulty level question. I don't recall the question right now. Okay. So one more question I recall was I think the 18th question was the mixture and allocation question. It was talking about milk and water. तो मिल्क में वाटर आप ऐड कर रहे हैं, उसका उसका मिक्सचर ये हो गया, ये हो गया. Yeah, Pawan has. Yes, Pawan. Pawan has actually given slot to. Let's see how he has fared. So Pawan, am I audible?
Hello, am I audible, sir?
हाँ जी, सेंटर के बाहर ही हैं.
Yes, I am outside the center. Just it is a park near the center, so I'm just sitting
अच्छा,
there.
ग्रेट. सो पवन, क्या क्या फीडबैक रहा? मुझे तो मैथ्स काफी इजी लगा, मतलब मैथ्स इजी था, डीएलआर भी मुझे इजी लगा. तो आपको हाउ व्हाट्स योर फीलिंग?
Okay, so first, I think they increased the number of questions. How many questions did you receive at total?
देखिए 24, 22, 22.
Yeah, that was the same for me. It was 24, 22, and 22. 24 for the RC, 22 for the DILR, and 22 for the quant sections. Okay. So
करेक्ट.
first, let's me tell you about my RC that I received. So in VARC, there were four paragraph passages, and each passage has a four questions. Okay. So that was the first composition. And after that, there were three questions from the para summary and para completions. And after that, last two questions were from para jumbles and they were theta. So only you have two options in the theta and other were your MCQ type questions. Okay. And the passages were of, I will say, various means varying difficulty. And there were two passages that you can say easy and easy to medium that you can solve easily. And the rest of two were from medium to difficult level. Okay. The first passage that was I got was about the inventions and their impact. So it was easy for me to solve because I was able to relate with it being the science student, so it was easy for me. The second passage was about the research papers and their impact because means whenever researchers are publishing their research and some of their friends are reviewing them for reviewing those research paper for them and giving their feedbacks and what is already published or is it from something similar to the next person. So it was based on those research and it was something more of an inference type passage, so you have to
तो
infer the various ideas from that passage.
बेसिकली
And
आप हाँ जी, बेसिकली चार आरसी हैं.
uh, तो
और
उसमें से मोस्टली क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग एंड इन्फ्रेंस एंड समरीज एंड इन्फ्रेंस बेस्ड and one was means directly you had to drive conclusion from the uh, passages. You have to check whether the information is provided in the passage and deduce the answers. And after that, the last one was also of the similar kind. So I will rate it between difficulty between easy to medium if you have
अच्छा.
a proficiency. And the average number of good number attempts, it will be means right questions. It will be, I think, approximately 10 to 12 good attempts can say for the VARC section.
So basically we say the four RCs, that is 16, then 3
Yes.
plus 3 plus 2. Two, three
Yes.
para summaries, 3 fill-ups जो para completion है, और बाकी जो odd one या jumbles है. ठीक
Yes.
है.
That is what I
तो
would. And
okay.
next,
तो
let's come to
difficulty
the
level medium हम कह सकते
yes medium. We can say it is medium.
हैं. Okay.
Next
What about the
for
DLR part?
DILR part, there were five sets that were given to you. So two sets has five questions each, and three sets has four questions each. Okay, and these all sets were of means let's say the different genres. First was the arranging the numbers, means you have to arrange the numbers in a grid patterns and according to the conditions. So I will rate it
Okay.
to easy to medium difficulty. This was a set of easy to medium difficulty. So if you put a little mind on it, you would be able to easily solve the your question. And the first question
Hmm.
that I received was based on the networks. So it was a graph type. So a city layout was given to you. So
Hmm.
according to that, distances were provided. So it
Okay.
contained some of the mathematics and let's say that basic knowledge of Pythagoras theorem you had to have for
अच्छा.
solving that question correctly. And
Hmm.
there were five questions from that. So, but as the number of roots were very lengthy, means you have to calculate the roots, and furthermore you have to calculate the distance based on those roots. So it was a bit of time consuming. So it was better to solve the questions that you can easily solve from that, or move on to the
Hmm.
next. And after that, the third means set was on the hmm, bar graph. So it was a bar chart was provided to you of specific conditions, and it was of average. Means you had to have a knowledge of average and cumulative additions and
Simple
statistics.
maths.
Yes,
Simple maths.
simple maths and is a little bit of statistics. It means you had to have a knowledge of cumulative, what is cumulative average, what is cumulative number,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
usually that part is missed out in the statistics. So if you had a
Correct.
little bit confusion in that, or your concepts are not clear, so this set will become a very difficult for you to solve. And after
Correct.
that was the simple division one, distribution one. So it was of three teachers are there, and you are dividing a fixed number of students to those teachers. And this was also based on the average, uh,
ओके.
means
तो
average
वही
concept.
सेम सेम चीज है कि मैथ्स का तो बेसिक बेसिक पॉइंट्स
Maths,
मान
basic
रखते
maths is required in that. And the last one
हैं.
was about the uh, let's say it was also of charts only, DILR. So two graphs were provided to you, and you had to infer the knowledge from that. You had to compare those 2 years and those six companies that were provided in that. So there are various reports were provided of 2 years. So you, according to those reports, you had to form or you had to calculate the answer. So if you have a little bit of a habit of solving these type of questions, so this set was a breeze, means you can easily solve it with
मतलब
by comparing.
जो बच्चा क्रॉसवर्ड्स एंड ये पजल्स पजल्स करता है
Hmm.
उसको एलडीए पढ़ाने की जरूरत नहीं.
Nahi, abhi, if you will think, if someone has a little bit of logical reasoning and practicing questions, some of the questions, then he can easily check out, means
नहीं,
easily solve these questions.
हम एलडीए कैसे पढ़ा रहे हैं?
Hmm.
अरेंजमेंट्स, वेन डायग्राम, मतलब बाइनरी लॉजिक हम कितने उसे पार्ट्स में कर रहे हैं.
Hmm.
और जब कैट टेस्ट कर रहे हैं, जब हम टेस्ट एग्जाम में जा रहे हैं,
Then
तो
it is
मैं इसे
completely mix up of both. It is not
मिक्सअप नहीं,
based.
मतलब हम इसे टॉपिक जेनरिक नहीं बना पाते. मतलब
Hmm.
किसे कहें कि बहुत जेनरिक क्वेश्चन है और बहुत लॉजिकल और रीजनिंग बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है. मतलब क्लास एक्चुअली
Yeah.
लॉजिक बेस्ड होनी चाहिए. मतलब जैसे होता है ना कि हम मिक्सचर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस which might be needing different kind of a
Hmm.
logic understanding rather than putting them into topics so that मतलब वो थोड़ा मुझे लगता है वो clustered teaching थोड़ी खराब करती है
Yes. Hmm.
लर्निंग. हम्म.
Because these questions are sometimes means a little bit out of the box, because you
हम्म.
had to have a good calculation speed for solving them, and at the
हम्म.
same time logical thinking to solve those questions simultaneously. You have to
Correct.
think that is this possible or not. If this is possible, then what can be the answer?
Correct.
That will be. And in DILR, theta based questions where some of the questions, 7 to 8 questions were from the theta, and others were
हम्म.
MCQ types. So,
हम्म.
and these questions were divided into various sets. So some sets has totally MCQs, and some have 2 or 3 theta questions, and others MCQ type.
अच्छा, okay. So
So
what about the
basic
quant now?
for
DLR
the
to
quant,
complete your point.
yes. And
हम्म.
for the quants, it was a little bit, my set was a little bit of calculation oriented. So you cannot
हम्म.
say that if you have knowledge of the questions and you can easily solve it. You had to have a
वर्क
good
टाइम,
grasp of the
डिस्टेंस वाला क्वेश्चन, वर्क का क्वेश्चन, लॉग है. अलजेब्रा
everything.
अरिथमेटिक बहुत इजी है. अलजेब्रा का थोड़ा थोड़ा एक दो पार्ट हैं जो कि थोड़ा खींच रहे हैं
Mm,
ऊपर. नहीं तो
yes.
बाकी जिसे कहें 10वीं के लेवल.
Mm. They were of that level, but means the calculation part was very lengthy. So you had to have
कुछ
a
कुछ
very
में
good speed. Yes.
नहीं, in some questions only. Maybe 22 में से या 22 questions में से maybe 7 to 8. Otherwise ज्यादातर question तो very easy to reach answer. मेरे
Uh,
मेरे slot 1 में.
okay. But in slot two, I think they increase a little bit of difficulty level for the
अच्छा.
I think quant section, because in that they increase the calculation part. You had to have a very good calculations and deduce the answers, and based on that, you will be easily able to solve it. Otherwise, if you make some mistakes or any lag anywhere behind, then your whole, or if you get stuck in a question for too long time, so you will be spinning in circles. So let me just give you the breakdown of the quants. So in quant, the word problems or arithmetic that you can say. So 8 to 9 questions from that section. Algebra was 6 to 7 questions from algebra. And this time geometry was 3 questions. There were 3 questions
हाँ
from
मेरे
the
में भी वही.
geometry, and
हम्म.
they included the geometry. Number system, 2 questions from the specifically number system that you need to solve. And from the modern maths, so let's say that functions and permutation and combinations, a basic combination of both. And there were 3 questions from that section. And basically, it was not completely from the let's say that modern maths or permutation and combination. I will say it was a little bit of a combination of both modern maths and algebra type. Means you cannot solve it using.
आपके मेरे एक सेट में
Hmm,
एक क्वेश्चन जो मैं स्ट्रगल किया जिसमें वो एक सेट्स एंड फंक्शन का क्वेश्चन था. टू सेट्स वर गिवन
hmm,
एंड फंक्शन उनका एक रिलेशन बताया होता है जैसे फंक्शन
hmm,
एंड देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन रिलेटिंग. आई डिडंट एक्चुअली ट्राई इट. मेरा तो टाइम ही खत्म हो गया. थ्री
hmm.
क्वेश्चंस एक्चुअली लेफ्ट. तो
Yeah, I had a
उसमें वन ऑफ द क्वेश्चन वाज देयर. आपके में ऐसा कोई एनी क्वेश्चन व्हिच यू थिंक वाज वेरी चैलेंजिंग?
Uh, there were 2 questions. I'll tell you about one which I remember. So it was a question of functions. So there was a function provided to you, and according to the numbers, you had to solve the functions, or the function would be solved in a specific manner. But if when you try to solve it, so the number for which you had to find out the value was very large. Okay, so
अच्छा.
either you had to spend time or you had to think outside the box to solve it. And for geometry also, they one question was very easy. I think any person who has studied class 10th maths can solve it very easily.
वुड बी
But
एबल टू.
yes, but the second question for from the geometry, you required a very depth knowledge. You had to require a very specific knowledge for the triangles and circles, and it was based on that. And you can after that you had to solve it. And after that, most of the questions from were average and time, speed, and distance and ratio proportion. So arithmetic parts and algebra part. So algebra it included inequalities, your quadratic equations, and other topics were included in the questions. So a little bit of specific means formula, specific knowledge, and application practice was required for to solve them in short amount of time.
When I look at my quant the slot 1,
Mm.
एवरेज, ज्योमेट्री, बैंक में जो इंटरेस्ट दिया,
Yeah, compound
परसेंटेज,
interest and
सक्सेस
simple
टाइम,
interest was there.
रिमाइंडर क्वेश्चन,
Yeah,
जो
one was a
चौका
reminder
क्वेश्चन,
question.
प्रॉफिट लॉस,
Yeah, profit
मेंसुरेशन
loss
ऑफ
was there.
स्फीयर, एक रेक्टेंगुलर में स्फीयर इंस्क्राइब्ड है, एक
Yeah,
एपी
I think that
रेशियो,
that is for geometry. Our was a circle and triangles, the same.
एक इसमें था शॉप ओनर ग्रेन्स बेच रहा है, एक में शॉप के ऊपर फ्रूट्स है, उसका ये रेशियो है, इसका
Yeah.
ऑरेंजेस एप्पल्स, ये प्रॉफिट. मतलब इजी इजी वर्क टाइम क्वेश्चन,
Mm.
मिक्सचर मिल्क एंड वाटर वाला क्वेश्चन.
Oh
एक
yeah, mixture.
इनइक्वालिटी था वो मैंने छोड़ा, और एक
Inequality was
स्क्वायर
there.
रूट अलजेब्रा.
I think
हाँ
the
इनइक्वालिटी वाज
inequalities that I got was I think a little bit easier, so I
देयर. ओके.
solved it. But yeah,
अरिथमेटिक
inequalities is
कोई
sometimes
कोई
simple.
लेवल नहीं था, अरिथमेटिक का बहुत लो लेवल.
Mm.
अलजेब्रा के दो तीन क्वेश्चंस एंड आई रिकॉल वन ऑफ द क्वेश्चन इन अलजेब्रा 1/8 टू द पावर ऑफ के मैं अभी दिखा रहा था बच्चों को, तो वो
Mm.
मैंने छोड़ा. मैंने कहा इतना टाइम क्यों बिताना है, मतलब इट्स बेटर कि चलो ठीक है. मतलब बेसिकली एक ही पॉइंट है कि
Mm.
इजी है. इस बार
It was
आपके मार्क्स इंक्रीज करने वाले हैं सब.
yes. I think it will be a little bit of higher than the last year. So I think the percentile base that was of 80 to 90 for the 99 percentile, I think that will
करेक्ट,
increase.
लेकिन डिसीजन मेकर कौन है? डिसीजन मेकर है वर्बल एंड डीएल।
Yeah,
क्वांट
verbal and
क्वांट
DIL.
नहीं,
Quant
क्वांट वो
was, yeah.
क्वांट को मतलब जैसे होता है ना एग्जाम में, जैसे एक क्वालिफाइंग है, वन वन थिंग से क्वालिफाइंग थिंग which is quant,
Hmm.
and the main decision making or the whole onus will lie on the verbal and the
DIL.
DLR. Yes. और उसमें भी ये नहीं था कि कोई बहुत डिफिकल्टी है, लेकिन हाँ चूजिंग क्वेश्चन कितना अच्छी तरह से चूज किया है।
Yeah, which
और
questions to
हाँ
choose, which question to leave it, and whether you can solve it in the time given to you, and which means to go to which questions that can be easily solved, and which question to leave out.
correct.
That will be the main point in this.
चलो अभी अंकुर इज गॉन, तो देखते हैं वो क्या करते हैं।
Hmm.
ठीक है, वैसे स्लॉट वैसे ही जाएगा, स्लॉट 3 भी वैसे ही, मतलब डिफिकल्टी लेवल होगा जितना समझ है मुझे। तो एंड करें
Okay,
पवन
sir.
जी?
Yes.
चलो, चलो सी यू, बाय बाय।
Bye.
So when in totality, when we're looking at, so what we see, the verbal score rising, DLR rising by some points, quant rises by lot of points. So quant, I think, will be much more of a qualifying nature, and your toppers or the people who are going to hit above 95 or 90% are with the people who have done verbal and the DLR very well. And when we look at the main questions, even when you look at the difficulty level of DLR versus verbal, verbal stands for the different. We have three para summaries. RC is based upon summarizations, or I would say understanding. And even when we look at the fill-up question, or the आप जिसे पैरा कंप्लीशन बोल सकते हैं, या पुटिंग की एक सेंटेंस कहाँ पे एक पैराग्राफ को पुट करना है, तो डिफरेंट अंडरस्टैंडिंग उसका, वो सभी चीजें मोर आईक्यू बेस्ड टेस्टिंग के बारे में बात करती है rather than much more technicalities. So once more, the verbal is not about language. Verbal is more about the understanding of the IQ part. And the whole IQ total test, when you look at, is an IQ test. थोड़ा सा much more looming towards GMAT kind of a structure. GMAT में भी quant level low होता है और verbal level high होता है, तो थोड़ा सा वैसा ही दिखता है डायरेक्शन ट्रेंड्स में जो कैट का दिख रहा है। चलिए ठीक है, थैंक्स फॉर जॉइनिंग, बाय बाय।